I started with this because I found a little bit of humor in it, but I also think that sometimes we don't necessarily bring our best selves forward because we are concerned with judgments from other people. And I'm going to come back to that, but one question I want to ask here is, just by a show of hands, who here would consider themselves to be a positive person? Yeah, and I did too, and I think most people I know would say the same thing, until that belief about myself was challenged. And it was challenged in the same way that I'm going to challenge you on that belief right now. How many of you today have said, I have to or I can't at some point? I know you all did. I have to go to work. I have to go to the gym. I have to meet this manager for a meeting. I can't go for dinner with you because I have to go to this DisruptHR thing tonight. Let's just stop and think about this for a minute. What are we truly saying? Well, I can't means we're not able to. We don't have the ability to. I have to is a requirement, a rule, an obligation. Is that really what we're saying? Is that we're obligated to do everything that we do? And I didn't really pay attention to that, but what I did notice is that I created this world of have-tos. And even though I thought of myself as being this positive and engaged person, every time I opened up my mouth and said, I have to do something, I was really saying that I had no choice in what I was doing, and it was all coming from a sense of obligation. And so I didn't quite understand the power that I have to's and I can't held on to me until I chose to change it to I choose to, which is really quite an interesting thing, especially for an HR professional, because when we think about how much time and energy we spend on employee engagement, and why do we do those things? Because we know an engaged employee brings their best self to the workplace. They're creative, they're energetic, they're enthusiastic, they have higher resiliency and adaptability. But I had a really difficult time bringing that same level of engagement into my own personal life. And so it was a bit of a process for me. And the process started by asking myself, why? Why do I do the things that I do? I have to take my son to soccer. Well, why do I choose to take my son to soccer? Why do I feel I have to take my son to soccer? Well, it's good exercise, the importance of knowing what it is to be a team player. He enjoys it. I'm grateful I have the opportunity and the ability to let him play, but also because I get joy out of watching him do something he loves. And so as I went through this a number of times, I noticed a pattern. I noticed that everything I was doing actually aligned with my values and my beliefs and things that were important to me and brought me a sense of joy. So why do we create this world of have-tos and obligations for ourselves? Well, one is I think we just don't pay attention. We don't pay attention to the words that we're using and the impacts that it has on us. But an even greater reason is I don't believe that we're comfortable with standing firm and openly admitting I choose to or I choose not to. Because when we do that, we are accepting the responsibility and the consequences of our actions. We're also being open to judgments of self and others. And so on the days when we feel really overwhelmed by our to-do lists, the first thing that we tend to do is say, oh God, something's got to come off that list. And what I want to suggest is maybe it's not the first question you ask yourself. Maybe the question is how can I think and feel different about what I'm doing and where I'm spending my time and my energy? And more times than not, you're going to find that you're doing what you're doing because it does align with your values. It does bring you a sense of fulfillment. And if you don't find a good reason why, then maybe it does need to come off the list, and that's okay. But until that time, own it, and then make a decision what you want to do. I choose to go to work every day because I get a sense of accomplishment when I can bring a solution to a business partner. I choose to go to work every day because I grow every time I'm slightly pushed out of my comfort zone. For this week, I challenge you to choose. I challenge you to take out the have-tos and the can'ts and replace it with I choose. And you will find a new sense of energy and joy that's going to become infectious. And imagine what would it be like if everyone around you chose to be doing exactly what they're doing where they are.